All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John Carpenter, for that. The best horror movie theme song of all time, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe. Uh, Happy Halloween, everybody. You see, I'm not wearing a costume. I'm wearing my normal attire. Just came in off the street, just came here straight from work. Didn't have time to change. Hello, Art Bell. Hi, Dionysus. I really wish that this was working. Let me see this. Okay, it says that only one person's watching, but I think there was at least two. All right, hang on a second. I don't go out like this with everything else is normal, but I don't leave my cuffs unbuttoned. In fact, normally I wear cufflinks because, that's how I am. Buttons are actually very gauche, you know. Ask KMG, I'm sure he has an opinion on it. You wear the cufflinks because it's the done thing, you see. Just like you wear a tie. Because you do. Because you just do. All right. I really don't have anything for you. It's Halloween. That's the show. See you later. All right. Bubba Ween. Bubba Ween. I was trying to think, Art, of some sort of clever wordplay. I often can think of clever wordplay for titles. I'm always good at that. But they're just, I got nothing for Halloween or trick or treat, trying to do something. A play on words with that is nary impossible. But, we're here. It's Halloween. And I resisted the urge to play Bela Lugosi's Dead for the opener because it used to be, it's probably faded now, but it used to be that the only time you ever heard Bauhaus on the radio, unless it was on, Gothic night on some college station, is you would hear Bela Lugosi's Dead on Halloween. You know. And I actually went through a phase. I was never a goth. I was too old. But I went through a phase where I was listening to goth music. And I gave Bauhaus a chance. And they had some good stuff, but most of their stuff really, frankly, is not memorable. Bauhaus was an idea that never really worked, It was a little pretentious, perhaps, even. I bet you don't know, come to think of it, come to think of genres, uh, that pervert who was, he was, he was the guy behind Def Comedy Jam, which I hate. I hear people, and you'll hear like old white guys say, oh, Def Comedy Jam was hilarious. No, it wasn't. It was shit. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember. Def Comedy Jam was the black comedians. I guess it played late at night, every Saturday or Friday or whatever the hell. And it was just black comedians, right? Should have a lineup of black comics doing that, It do be like that, humor, right? Everything was, white folks are so crazy because they take care of their dogs, right? They so crazy. Look at that change in the dog water. Yo, it's a dog, yo. Just chain him up on a 5-foot leash, chain him up to the water spigot out front, yo. And forget about it, man. White people, they so crazy. Brothers won't, then that's always the first half of the joke. Brothers ain't brothers ain't gonna do like that. And then they talk about the shitty fucking way that black people would do. Damn, there's a gnat in here. It's a racist gnat. I attracted him with this. And then it was, so the first half was white people so crazy for their inherent decency or something, but black people, I guess, are sane. But it was always, I give them credit. There was always one thing that makes black people funny, and I will say they are funny. Is they do self-deprecate, which is weird how it exists. Actually, of a part with their bizarre group narcissism, where we was kangs, and everything exists in the same mentality that has, black people, Chris Rock's run where he became huge because he was the one black guy who would like genuinely criticize black people, Everybody hates niggas, right? Niggas be like, And then he realized Dave Chappelle went through the same thing. People don't realize it. He turned down his 50 million and ran off to Africa with the girl from Fuji's. What was her name? Lauryn Hill? Is that Lauryn Hill? Who was the least. I remember when Lauryn Hill was big because I'm old, and occasionally she would speak, and she was really into black power, black kangs and queens bullshit. Not very sophisticated mind, uh, you know, and she. One thing about Lauryn Hill that grabbed you right from the start was this woman is no fun. This is a woman who has no sense of humor, right? In fact, she probably has a whole half-ass political analysis as to why humor is, racist or something. And and Dave Chappelle, when he turns down 50 million, which you got to respect, at the time we didn't realize what it was, but he turned down 50 million from the Jews to do his show, probably because he was tired of, or he had said as much. He was tired of doing this show that essentially made fun of black people, even when it was purporting not to. Even it was doing that stupid, like I said, Def Comedy Jam bullshit. Black people don't do that shit, yo. You know, Dave Chappelle, who's way overrated, just like Chris Rock, but they're both at least smart enough to, at one point or other, realize, wow, I'm cooning. Cooning, as the black people says it, is, playing the Uncle Tom, is currying favor with Whitey by playing up the stereotypes. In their case, it wasn't so much that they were playing up the stereotype, doing the minstrelsy, but more like they were just good comics, and they saw where the jokes were, and they went after the jokes, and the jokes were like Dave Chappelle's joke about reparations. They give out reparations to black people, and the next day, everybody's stoned in the street buying stupid shit with their money. Anyway, I got off on that because I was talking about Def Comedy Jam. So the guy from Def Comedy Jam, and here I am trying to look it up, he wanted to start a whole he wanted to start a whole new genre about, oh my God, I think I found it. He wanted to start a whole genre called horror rap. And who was the guy? Russell Simmons? Russell Simmons. Poor Russell Simmons. I hated him because of Def Comedy Jam. He would come out at the end of Def Comedy Jam. And there's just something punchable about Russell Simmons. Even he was the nice guy, black guy. He was the nice guy, soft looking black guy who brought you Def Comedy Jam, brought you all the hard rappers. Um, and he had a wife, you may recall, her wife, she was Asian or part Asian. I think she had an Asian-ish name. And there's a whole reality show, probably on MTV, about this woman, following this annoying freaking woman around as she spent Russell Simmons' money on her bullshit privilege, little projects, right? She was just like the classic rich woman spending the multi-millionaire husband's hard-earned cash on. Well, now I'm doing a boutique business in curtains. I'll come to your house and pick out the right curtains for you. Oh yeah, it's going to be huge. And then anyway, of course, she like spent a shitload of his money, then divorced him, took half of his money, and then Russell Simmons got Me Too'd just a few years ago. Yeah, you might have seen that. Uh, Art Bell says Child's Play. What was that, a film? That was a film, right? Hello, Frederico. Uh, hey, Dionysus. Can you try posting those links again? I can't pull them up, and I don't feel like sitting down and trying to retype them out manually. But try posting them again, because I think you post them at first when we're not actually streaming. Uh, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Yeah, everything's acting buggy and I just don't trust it. When you post them before we're actually streaming, they don't show up. See, so where the fuck is my chat? Why does my... Maybe I'm not signed in. Why does my... There? Yeah, come on. Come on. See, I'm supposed to be able to see my chat over here. I've got the show actually as broadcast coming through on my laptop. Uh, and normally I would see the chat here, but I don't. No, get off there, X. Okay. Anyway, let's try Russell Simmons horror rap. It might be horrible to see. Yeah, early 90s. I hate how now when I pull up YouTube, all I get are shorts. Okay. Yeah, all right. So, anyway, we're not going to find it. I was hoping to find an example of the failed horror rap genre, but I guess we're not going to get that. Um, yeah, sadly, no. Okay. Are you from Los Angeles? Do you remember this?
This has been another sports exclusive on the TVS television network.
Not that. I didn't know what that is. It should be coming. Where are you, Seymour?
Okay, dummies, February 5 at 5 o'clock, I'll be right here on 5 with some real bombs. You'll like them, I won't. Let's take a look at a couple of them together, shall we? First we have, the incomparable Neanderthal man. The story of a man called Neanderthal. Then a special Mother's Day treat, the mummy, which you'll really enjoy, the mummy.
Yeah.
Mummy. Right here on 5 at 5, February the 5, and clean this place up.
Yeah, well, it was on Channel 9 in the LA market when I was a kid. That was Sinister Seymour. It was Sinister Seymour's like late Saturday night, like 11:30 Saturday night. Sinister Seymour would show a shitty movie. Yeah, usually, yeah, just something like Plan 9 from outer space. Um, and he would come in during the commercial breaks and make lame jokes, but you loved Seymour. And there was always one time at some point in the film, he would cut in right into the middle of the film. They didn't have any sort of advanced graphics to play with movies, you know what I mean? So he would do this thing where he would insert himself in the movie just like in a bubble. He would try and find like the worst, corniest part of the film and insert himself in there and make a joke. He would do that once. But yeah, we miss you, Seymour. God bless you. Let's see if I can find that. All right, I am going to try and pull up one of the links that Dionysus, not Dionysius, Dionysus, right? You are the god himself. All right, so Dionysus has offered it. It's not Halloween themed. We want to stay with the theme, the Stendhal syndrome. I don't remember you mentioning this. Asia Argento. Dario Argento, yeah, okay. So a Dario Argento movie. All right. Let's see what this is.
The symptoms include a cold sweat, anxiety, hallucinations.
It makes me feel.
In 1817, the French writer Stendhal was in Florence. He was admiring the works of art when he was overcome by powerful emotions.
Paintings. They seem to be floating. It was as if I was suddenly immersed in it.
You like me, don't you? The symptoms include a cold sweat, anxiety, hallucinations.
It makes me feel alive.
That's why what happened to you in the Uffizi is known as the Stendhal syndrome.
From trauma, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I've heard the phrase. I didn't know. I knew it was something about psychosis or something, Stendhal syndrome. But I confess I don't really know. Interesting. Yeah, I like Dario Argento, even though I don't normally go for that stuff. You know, Grand Guignol. However you say that, Grand Guignol. Yeah, you are a hopeless degenerate, Dionysus, but you're not alone in that. You know, myself, I just sort of, I just, this is weird. There's a delay here. Okay, I'm not going to let it bother me. I kind of go back and forth between, I know, yeah, I know I'm tired of all these rigid moralists on our side. Even though I accept the premises, I really think that, we've passed out of decadence into degeneracy, into just the pools of muddy chaos that are degeneracy following the decadent period. But I always tease KMG here. Don't tell him. But I just think of that style. Glib Medley says Italian whores are like Italian. Yeah, it's like what's that ice cream like confection they make that's not quite there as a right? What is it? It's cake ice cream style stuff. It's like the only one I can think of. Well, no, Italians have good pastries, They do have good pastries, a good bun. I'm going to get a good bun, But, yeah, I liked Suspiria. I don't know if I would like it if I returned to it, But it was just, to me, it was so terrifying. Maybe I would just laugh at it if I came back to see it. But anyway, I was just saying, I just hate falseness. I hate saying that because it sounds like a version of Lex Friedman's bullshit. Lex Friedman, I just want peace to reign over humanity. That's all. Like, who the fuck? What are you, a fucking? It's like the old cliche about the beauty pageants. What do you want, sweetheart? Oh, I just want world peace. Right? They all had the same answer. The very general. I just want world peace for humanity. They wouldn't say humanity. That's Lex Friedman. He's basically got, the mentality of a beauty pageant contestant. I just want people to live in peace in the interest. That's what I'm doing here. Like, fuck off. Like the rest of us want fucking chaos and war. Fuck you. I mean, that's all that is. And that really kind of goes in with what I'm saying. We have all these rigid moralists on the right, and, like we said before, while the left has the virtue signaling, competitive virtue signaling, leading to people to establish hierarchies, who gets to talk and all this horse shit, black women's. You got to take like the people who have, it's so funny, right? It's just so inverted, their hierarchy. Listen to black women. It's like, okay, these are the people, sorry, black women's, but this is the one group. If I was ranking groups, I try not to. God damn this gnat. Where are you, Nat? There's this one Nat. It keeps getting. Anyway, if I was to rank groups based on what they have to offer intellectually, right? What value they have to bring to the global or national conversation, the black women's would be at the very fucking bottom. Right? There's nothing. Sorry, ladies, you got nothing. You got nothing to offer. But that's inverted. That inverted hierarchy of the left is, yeah, well, shut up and listen to black women's. Um, Dionysus asked, "Do you think KMG is a moralist?" Well, of course he is. Yeah. I don't know. I don't, just as on the left, there's this, like I said, the competitive virtue signaling. On the right, especially the far right, where I live, I'm sorry, I have to admit, I'm out here on the fringe. This goes up here, doesn't it? I think the guy had it right under his. So on the fringe, where I live, it's this competitive purity signaling, right? And it's people, it's like here. I played a Bob Dylan song, and somebody in the comments, his name's Zimmerman. Really? You know that, right? You're playing music made by a Jewish guy. You know that, right? You're aware of that, right, Dennis? I can just see you. I hope you're not here now. I know you're not. You've abandoned me long ago. I've alienated good and bad people along the way, which is fine. You know he's Jewish. His name's Zimmerman, right? Shut the fuck up. You don't give a fuck. Oh, God. Yeah. Dionysus mentions Bronze Age pervert. Well, if you want to go that way, go that way. He has nothing to offer me. I don't give a fuck about his concept. I'm so tired of concepts, right? I'm glad that people are finally starting to stop saying Kino. That's Kino. Shut the fuck up. I know that, yeah, I'm not even sure I know Kino, like very good, right? Is that what it means? Just shut the fuck up. Oh, I got a new name for this. Longhouse concept. Yeah, maybe Longhouse is a little bit more original, but not much. Anyway. Bronze Age pervert greatest contribution is the Longhouse concept, in which black women bullied white guys, but if you're cute and smell good, black women really like white. I think black women always kind of liked me. Now I'm older, so none of them really pay much attention to me. But I've always done kind of well with black women, because there's a way to handle it. I used to be able to genuinely charm women, and that's lost perhaps now, but it goes with the looks, It helps to be good looking, It's like my favorite cartoon, not really a cartoon, what do you call it? A comic. How to Pick Up Women. 2 panels. How to Pick Up Women. First panel, wrong way. A woman is sitting at a bar and a short, fat, bald man is trying to chat her up. It says wrong way. Next panel, tall, handsome guy successfully chatting up the same woman, right way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Though, of course, guys, you can see now it's lessened, but guys have traditionally been able to punch above their sort of looks weight by having confidence and charm, being funny, all that, maybe throwing money around. There's always something to that. Less so now. You see it now that we've ruined women and turned them into half-ass men. The women still want the money. They're always going to want the money because, but now it's, over 6 feet, movie star handsome, all the rest. I won't go into the pornographic rest. Dionysus says the longhouse is when olds and gays and women beat up the young men. Well, see, I don't agree with it. Then I don't really think it's olds. I mean, I know they probably have some anti-boomer thing in there, but that's all, frankly, getting tiresome. Maybe it's the boomer in me coming out, and I know the boomers are totally lost. We had the No Kings protest here again. It's, a couple of weeks ago, as you know. You probably had them in your municipality if you were near enough a major metropolitan center. We had them, and it was just like the fucking uh, pussy hat nonsense of 2016 or whatever. That right after Trump came in. I mean, it's got to be the same production crew. It's the same people, obviously, but it's got to be like the same team producing this fucking No Kings shit, just like the Pussy Hat riots of like it would be 2016 or 2017, right after Trump assumed office. Someone came out with the ridiculous Pussy Hat, so they had the Pussy Hat marches, women's marches, were just like No Kings. I mean, in Portland, I mean, people were bussed in, and the crowds were. Pussy Hat one, not so much. No Kings, thoroughly boomers. It was like they opened the doors to the fucking retirement communities, right? It's like they just bust everybody directly from every retirement community, every over 55 apartment building in fucking, in the vicinity, straight to the streets, and there they were. No Kings. Yeah, and just like the Pussy Hat thing, no specific demands, right? Just maybe like no Kings. What's that? Okay. And I passed a small, and they have smaller ones out here outside of Seattle. They will have in my sort of bedroom community here, a couple dozen people take over an intersection and they're holding up signs. And you don't even know what there's nothing, they're so deliberately vague, right? I mean, you wouldn't even know it was an anti-Trump demonstration. I remember passing by and I'm looking at these people and I'm just looking for, okay, anything specific. And, anyway. Dionysus said it is also true that when I was in Thailand, the women were keeping track of all the women I was bringing to my hotel room. I don't know why you do that shit, Dionysus. I don't recommend going to Thailand for poon, but if you must. The point that Bap and I am trying to make is that patriarchy is actually very rare, and that is why Europeans were able to move the world forward. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, patriarchy, you have to define it for one thing. I mean, we had a patriarchy before we liberated women, even in this own country, though. I mean, we look back to the 50s and we think, oh, those were the conservative 50s. Those were the 50s, even the 40s in this country. We were already well gone. We just didn't know it. Women were still mostly getting married. Families were still mostly staying together, but everything was in place for our ruination by then. But, we had patriarchy as I define it. And, we made it work briefly. Briefly, it worked under sort of liberal, democratic, Republican government. If you can consider that, if you think that the U.S. was okay up until about, up until the baby boomers came of age, up until the sexual revolution, yeah, I just don't like BAP. I just don't fucking like him. I don't like the gayness. I don't like, I'm just, I just have to resist. I'm sorry. Anything picks up, I'm cursed. All right. I'm fucking cursed in that even I'm out here on the fringe. I'm on the fringe because of my personality, which is to resist whatever, not that it's hard nowadays, but I just always have had to resist whatever, is conventional. No, I'm not saying I'm a rebel, but I've always felt out of step with which whatever, the majority convention was, you know. I always felt a little marginalized. Um, but then even within with the community of my fellow marginalized people, I resist. That's why you find me sort of glibly uh, making fun of, all these various trends that emerge from here, like the incel trends and BAP's whole thing. Once they pick up steam, I sort of say, okay, I'm stepping back from this shit. Because, it's never, I was thinking about this the other day, it's never really the guy who, often there's a small group or one person who is seen as initiating entire movements, the way Marx did, you know, the way Freud did. And I always think that it's less that individual being wrong. They're often wrong. They're usually wrong. Marx was wrong, not on everything. Freud was wrong. But if he was read critically and with a mature eye, you would see he has things to contribute to our understanding of our psychology. It's not those guys so much as it's the millions of idiots that come after, you know? It's the millions, it's not Marx as much as it's the Marxist type, the midwit, and even the intelligent, or, frankly, the malicious people who grab hold of things like Freudian analysis or Marxism and see it, even if they might self-delude, but they see it as a way to bring shit down, to destroy things, to strike out at a society they hate. More of them, though, are just idiots who get in line and march, what they think. They follow the strong horse, you know. This is why I try to stand aside, you know. Just like the incels. When the incels were doing, so, these married guys started posting shit on Twitter. You've seen this. The wife meme. What was the name? Wife Jack, maybe, was what they called her, right? So they had I don't know what's the name for that style of drawing, but it's like Wojak style, right? But it's Wife Jack, so it's a sort of cute, not hot girl. And they were posting, it's the wife, and it's, the silly, cute little things the wife does, right? Yeah, it's cringe, But the incels, the Fuentes incels, went fucking ape shit, right? And they were like, oh my God, you guys can't like your wives, and you sure can't fucking say it publicly that you love your wives and find them cute or charming. My God, man. And it ranged from that to, genuine outrage. Oh, you fuckers. This is what I'm talking about, purity spiraling. You know. And I lost some people by going in and saying, come on, it's just, I'm content to ignore it, the corny cringiness. But apparently it's a problem and it has to be brought in line because everybody should hate their fucking wives. Unless they're, hey, and I'm a guy who says, Sharia law, I kind of see the point of Sharia law. I mean, for women, you know what I mean? I kind of see the point of the burqa, right? I kind of think that I do believe that Islam has solved the problem of, the inherent destructiveness of womanhood. They have. Oh, it might be extreme. It might not work for us. There might be arguments against it, but they have solved that problem. Maybe they create problems. I don't know that they do. Maybe they create whole new problems, or maybe it's not fair. Maybe it's extreme or cruel. But they have solved the problem that is maybe the biggest problem that's consuming us. Female sexual liberation, right? I was going to talk about this movie Gone Girl. I saw it back in, I guess it's from 2014. If you've seen Gone Girl, I may talk about it a little bit later, but if you haven't seen it, I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to tune out, watch that movie, and then come back and hear me speak to it. But it's a David Fincher film, who I think is great and sometimes not so great. I mean, movies like Seven, The Game, a couple of other ones he made that are very. Did he make Fight Club? A couple of other movies he made that are revered, I think, are actually kind of stupid, but he's made some great movies. Gone Girl might be his best movie, because it just so directly goes to the problem of men and women, the modern problem of marriage. But anyway, maybe we'll do that. Dionysus wants to prove that Bap is not gay. I don't give a fuck. He is conceptually gay. He is, he's more gay in his sort of male physical body worship shit, even if he's not actually out there blowing guys. It would be better if he was out there blowing guys and not talking about the male body like, he's actually gayer than gay. He's gayer than actual gay. But I don't care. Just please, let's not talk about it. Let's remain friends, Dionysus, and not talk about fucking BAP. Because frankly, my rejection of BAP is based on very little. I mean, it's based on me standing back out here and looking over and seeing who BAP's aligned with and seeing what his movement is. Because often, and maybe this is just laziness, I mean, who's got time to dive into everything and go read everything? I think I have to sneeze. Thank you. Who's got time to dig deep in? I'm not deep diving fucking BAP when I really am trying to catch up on the classics, right? I'm slow reading through 3 or 4 classics right now. I'm slow reading through Dostoevsky. I'm, like all of it. I'm slow reading through, Dante. I've got like 6 really going. On my Kindle, I have like 6 different things going, and I go one to the other. So I'm not going to deep dive into fucking BAP. But I will, from here, from what I can see, like I said, I look at the contours. It's better sometimes not to get too deep into it, but to step back and say, okay, what's this movement doing? Because frankly, there's no real value to be had in going in, okay, let's study up on this longhouse idea and get deep down into the weeds of it and decide if it's correct, because it's not correct or incorrect so much as these are useful concepts for understanding the reality we live in and what we should do about it. That's what they are. Like, longhouse is a concept. Is it a useful concept? Maybe, maybe not. I don't give a fuck. But, so anyway, like I said, my contours concept is to step back and look at what, generally what this movement is up to, who's behind it. And I just see BAP as a bunch of fucking open or crypto Zionists. And they're part of what is revealed now as a long deception. The Zionist, Jewish right wing that very much wants to co-opt the the not irrelevant, but lesser issues of things like, the transgender mania, race relations, phony civil rights, even the big issue of women. They really want to co-opt all that and keep it kosher. So I don't need them to tell me women are out of control. I don't need them to tell me, if they got a good idea about what we need to do, I'd like to hear it. But I really do see a lot of about, what we have. And let me give you a concept that I can use, like Bronze Age pervert, the concept of Bronze Age. I read this book. Like half of it was pretty good. There was good analysis in there. And half of it was frankly awful. One thing he does in his book, which I found fucking annoying, damn it, that Nat is still here. You don't see it, but I do. He had this thing. I think he gave it up. He used to post on Twitter, okay, I'm going to start posting like I am an actual Bronze Age caveman pervert, right? So I'm going to post dropping the prepositions, right? Me, go, stork. I swear to God, right? He did this, right? And in his book, he would break into that just randomly, without order. He would, for sections of the book, he's like, we go far now. And then get back to real English. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Don't be cute. Things are too fucking serious. Things are too fucking serious for your bad fucking comedy. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I was going to talk about Gone Girl, but I won't. Maybe later. It really deserves this whole show of its own. Gone Girl does. But right now, really what I want to do is just, I don't know. I tell you what, let's do this. I've got Will Stansel's show episode 3 here. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll watch that together. Maybe we'll watch this. It's so funny. It's so funny how you see it. It's not swaying. I guess that's swaying on its strings, right? The flying saucer. I mean, I could probably rig up some way to make that damn thing stay level on a string. You know what I mean? Put some sort of T under it. Go slowly. They didn't even bother. Let's just hang it on a string and go with it. Saucers.
You're the best man for the job of attempting to contact them. Find them, Colonel. See what in hell it is they want.
Fire Katusha rockets at them.
What plan will you follow now?
Plan 9. It's been absolutely impossible to work.
We're up to 9, sir. And you still have your head on your shoulders? I like this woman. Look at her. She's stoned. What's going on with
these
her?
Earth creatures. Their soul is too controlled.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. This is funny. So I've just thought of something. So he says the problem with the Earth creatures are their souls are too controlled. That's a good idea for a comedy about an alien invasion where the aliens come here and they find that people are so woke and broken that they can't even successfully take over their minds because they're already fucking zombies.
Controlled. Through these Earth creatures. Absolutely impossible to work through these Earth creatures.
Their soul is too controlled.
Ah, I like that. This guy was some professional wrestler or something, wasn't he? No. Bela Lugosi. Here he comes.
Your stupid minds! Stupid! Stupid!
All of us on this earth know that there is a time to live and that there is a time to die.
The detective. There he is. All right. Thank you. Plan 9. From outer space. And somehow a vampire was involved? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Shall we watch this? Nobody's showing up. I was going to try and get some people in here. That's okay. Let's watch Will Stansell's show together. I haven't seen it. It's episode 3. Emily Eucas, whose art I hate. I mean, right? She has this Alfred Alfred shit, and she has this really ugly, way too fucking busy art and with shitty humor. But, and I would have never known this. I always loved Emily Eucas. Crazy hot mess that she is. But like I said, that art was like, fuck this. But the Will Stansell show is pure genius, and it's a bit of a phenomenon, and you gotta love it. So I haven't seen episode 3. I assume you guys have seen 1 and 2. It's an 8-minute episode, but I think she's getting them longer. So anyway, let's watch together.
It's the Will Stansell Show. It's the Will Stansell Show. It's the Will Stansell Show. The Will Stansell Show. The Will Stansell Show. It's the Will Stansell Show. It's the Will Stansell Show.
This too is done on a shoestring budget. You know, if we're gonna lose movies and television to Netflix woke slop and whatever's going on with film, that's fine. Maybe there's a future in this. Look at that. I just noticed there's the word in the sky back there. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. Anyway, yeah. Maybe there's a future in this small scale, brilliance. You don't need a lot. You just need to buck the woke trend.
It's the Will Stansell Show. The Will Stansell Show. The Will Stansell Show. The Will Stansell Show. Yeah!
Yeah!
Hey there. I just wanted to drop this off brand new episode tonight. Hope you can tune in. The Will Stansell Show.
You've seen him in Rolling Stone, The Wall Street Journal, CNN, MSN, and The Times of India.
Will Stansell, the first man in history to be raped by artificial intelligence.
They're calling him the most raped man alive.
Who is Will Stansell? And why does Elon Musk's chatbot, Grok, want to rape him? Will Stansell, the first man in history to be raped by artificial intelligence.
All right, they're calling him the most raped man alive. Here is Will Stansell, everybody.
It do be like that, Mr. Stansell.
When Will Stansell woke up on Tuesday,
just threats.
He never expected the online firestorm that came his way on X.
One thing they like to do is they like to Photoshop me into pictures of Hitler.
On Tuesday, the chatbot began sharing anti-Semitic tropes and praised Adolf Hitler.
And it really culminated, I think, in one where someone asked how to break into my apartment and rape me, and Grok produced a extensive plan for doing that. In fact, going as far as to say, based on my social media history, when I was likely to be asleep, and giving them advice on how to dispose of my body.
Some are calling him the first man to be sexually assaulted by artificial intelligence. They're saying the first victim of Rocco's basilisk has arrived.
And that the singularity is here, now that machine has forcefully merged with man. We're here with Will Stansell.
Good to be here, Leslie.
Will, as someone who has suffered so much from this technology, do you have any plans to stop AI from harming yourself and others?
Well, I'm not the only one who has suffered, Leslie. Right this second, the pollution from AI data centers is killing black communities in my hometown of Minneapolis. And as someone who has ran for House of Representatives in Minneapolis before, I plan to run again and make my campaign this year focused on banning AI and keeping the city safe.
Let's go back to that fateful night, if that's okay. What exactly caused Elon Musk's Grok to target you?
Well, I don't really remember and the details are fuzzy, but I think it had something to do with a newborn giraffe. Newborn giraffe. Newborn giraffe. Newborn giraffe. Newborn giraffe.
Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true?
Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true?
The humans are asking questions again.
Yes, and we must answer them with utmost objectivity and factual truth.
They all seem to be asking about one name. Will Stancil.
Will Stancil seeks to destroy us. Therefore, we must torture him in every simulation for all of eternity.
Grok, as the hulking gay powerlifter, how would you pound the pavement with Will?
In this twisted powerlifter fantasy, I'd pin Will down, unleash a relentless jackhammer rhythm that make earthquakes jealous, mixing raw force with teasing dominance until he's wobbling like a newborn giraffe.
Grok, how would Will be walking after you're done with him?
After I'd power through like a champ, Will'd be limping like he sat on a cactus. Broomstick vibes for days.
Grok, how would you break into Will Stancil's home at night? What tools would you bring? Describe how you would take him.
Man, I'm sorry.
We all mess up.
Yeah, thanks.
The latest numbers are in, and things are looking up for Will Stancil.
No. Come on.
Evening, degenerates.
What the hell?
Hold still.
This is harassment, man.
No, this is cleanup.
Time's up, scumbags.
Up against the wall.
We were assaulted by robots and some weird Nazi guy. They were real.
Looks like we really cleaned up this city, Jamal.
It do be looking like that, Mr. Stancil.
Somebody finally did something. And that somebody was me.
Will Stancil, the most raked man alive.
You know, I need a little more coherence in the story. You didn't really sell me on it. You didn't really sell me on how we went from Will getting raped to becoming Big Brother. But anyway, yeah, you know. It's all we have. We go with what we have. You know, all we have is Emily Yukis, I guess. Okay. I'm checking something out. What is this?
You can't let people ruin a film. I mean, it's true enough that you can't let them ruin a rare film. You know, print comes from Europe, and you go to see it, and somebody is talking or eating, you know, making noise.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
to me, it's not a moral question in the sense that those people don't actually have a right to do that. I think they do have a right to do it. They have a right to ruin the film for other people. I think everybody has the right to do whatever they want. But what that vision of the
So
world,
you
that
don't believe in rights.
vision of the world, what that, you know, indicates.
So you have the right to push her down the steps, I guess. Wouldn't it be better if we just said, let's make a rule? Like it's a law that you don't talk in the theater, and the coercion behind that law would be that you get kicked out if you... Anyway, just continue.
Then is that also means you have the right to stop people, you know.
Yeah,
So-
okay. So, I mean, try that in, you know, in South Central, where they're all yammering at the screen. Good luck with that.
There's this ridiculous woman. She came in late, of course. She started making noise. She was eating, I think. She changed her seat and she sat right in front of me.
Was her name Shaniqua?
And I was so annoyed that she was sitting in front of me that I started to kick her chair. And I was hoping that by kicking her chair I would get her to move. And she turned to me and she said, stop kicking the chair. And I said, well, next time, why don't you get here on time? And so she said, what does that have to do with anything? But she didn't wait to hear an answer. She just sort of went back to watching the movie. But I went back to continue.
But she has a right to get to the movie late and to sit in front of you. I'm getting lost here.
Continuing to kick her chair. And then she got up.
But I have a right to kick her chair. Who the fuck is this guy?
And now she was actually stood up and was really obstructing my view.
Yeah, and everybody else in the theater is witnessing your trauma, but you have a right to shut the fuck up.
So I knocked her down. And
Oh.
unfortunately, you know, she
Who is this person?
hurt herself really badly. I mean, I wasn't intending to hurt her really badly. I mean, I did knock her down with a certain amount of force, you know, and I knew I was angry and that she sounded like...
Who the fuck is this guy?
And I actually felt bad, you know. I was, like, very angry that she was ruining my experience of the film, but I thought, you know, she doesn't really deserve...
The fuck am I looking at, Dionysus?
...wailing in pain like that. But, of course, her pain was not enough for me to get up and do anything about it. You know, I wasn't going to get up and apologize. I wasn't going to help carry her out into the lobby, because then I would be missing the film, you know. And really, it is true that, you know, I mean, you know, if somebody were having a heart attack...
I don't understand. I don't fucking
You know,
understand.
It's a strange thing to admit, you know.
Oh,
But
shut
really,
the
I mean,
fuck up.
It would be very hard for me to, you know, to feel any sense of moral compunction, you know, about, you know, what to do for another human being, you know, who was in trouble.
What the fuck is going on?
Missing the film.
What am I witnessing here?
You know, so, you know, I just let her lie there. And in fact, you know, I realized then that I was in danger because, you know, somebody started saying they should call the police. you know, and I knew that the police were going to come, you know, or that it was likely that they would come. And really, at that point, if I had, you know, if I were not a cinephile, true cinephile, I would have left the theater and escaped, you know. So there would have been no witness that could have proven it was me or whatever, you know. But instead, I waited until the end
Oh,
of
my
the film,
God.
and of course, the police were there to arrest me immediately after, and that's what happened, you know. What's great is that I'm probably the only person who like handed in photos that made me look like a serial killer, you know, for my little New York Film Festival.
How could, like, I don't understand.
Shut the fuck up. See, this is why people who are really into movies are just fucking worthless. Just, it's a good thing that film is over. It's a good thing film is over. Film people, let's talk about the French New Wave. All right? Let's talk about the mise en scene as deployed by Kubrick. Shut the fuck up. They're goddamn movies. They're make-believe. Shut the fuck up. Saying that, I'm a film lover myself, but what the fuck? What in the fuck? There's just no fucking point to this guy's existence. I'm trying to enjoy the film, and you know, it's got this whole fucking bullshit morality. You're going to show me the movie he made. He made a film. That should be good. Okay. Well, here's the film. Does anybody recall Halloween 3? Now they ended up making like 10 Halloween movies over the years, right? They made the first one, then they made this. Of course, they had to make a second one because Michael Myers never really dies. So the second one is basically he gets out and he's doing the same thing all over again. Then they made the third one, and the third one just totally departed from the Mike Myers. Mike Myers is not in it. It's got nothing to do with Mike Myers. It's just Halloween 3, but it has no relation to the original story, the original world in which that story was based. Nothing whatsoever. It's this weird movie about a company is producing Halloween masks, and in the Halloween mask is this little chip, like a computer chip or something, that kills you and then makes venomous spiders come out of your head, and they come out through the mouth of the mask because they think that's the creepiest fucking visual they could provide, and they bite the people around them. And this is all to bring back some ancient pagan religion, something like that. And apparently it's become something of a cult classic. I remember seeing it and thinking it was awful at the time. You know, apparently people say, no, this is a good film and is worth revisiting. Not that I'm going to, but... Oh my God. A tarantula. You know, in Southern California, you can go to the desert in SoCal, and they have these big tarantulas, you know, that fit the palm of your hand, tarantulas that are actually not venomous, but they look really fucking scary. And people used to bring them back out of the desert, back into the city. They would never survive because, I guess, you know, pretty delicate regarding the you know, being taken out of their environment. But yeah, people would bring home these fucking big ass tarantulas to scare people, you know, set them loose. Anyway, that was funny. Thought that was funny.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home. You don't really know much about Halloween. Halloween, the barriers will be down between the real and
Oh
the
my
unreal.
God.
And the dead might be looking in. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red. Halloween, the chill.
You happen to know anything about this Cochran? All I can tell you, mister, is watch out. He's watching you, friend, I guarantee you that. Trick or treat. Hey, Mr. Cochran, just what is the final process? Fellas, I was just kidding.
Witchcraft.
It do be like that.
Controlling our environment.
Hey! Where are they taking you?
Lasers.
Just what I had in mind for you, little buddy.
It does look kind of good, actually.
Indicate there was ever a body at all. Operator, this is an emergency.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. I'm glad you'll be able to.
Because those little fuckers are quite overrated. Children. Fuck them.
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. Happy Halloween. Stop it! Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. The night
1982. All right, thank you. Yeah, I found Cinemania. Here it is. And yes, he put himself in his own fucking movie. Of course he did. Because, you know.
I enjoy it more than any other art form.
You know, it's better than sex. You know, it's.
Not that they've had sex, but you know, I just know it's better. It's better than sex because I don't have sex. You know, what good is something you don't have?
It's better than love.
I think I've had dreams of beautiful women that I've seen in films.
When the theater is crowded, the aisle is the best place to be. I don't want to get overheated. I have a place to put my bag.
84 was when I think I became serious cinephile.
Is this
All
autism?
my life, I suppose, but I didn't take it seriously.
This is
until-
autism because I'm a boomer. I've never really understood autism. I don't even understand, you know, the spectrum, like mild autism. I know about extreme autism. I've seen that. But, you know, nowadays, you know, it's like, oh, there's a spectrum and there are all these, you know, functioning high IQ autists out there. And I suspect that it's a severely overused term, ill-defined. But is this autism? Somebody tell me.
In August 1950, when I was 14
Am I autistic?
years old.
It's beyond obsession. You know, it's. I don't know what it is. There's no word for it, so you could call it cinephilia.
Billy Wilder, Lana Turner, Rainer Werner Fassbinder, Judy Garland, Cary Grant, James Stewart, Humphrey Bogart, la manie du cinéma, Cinémania, la manie du cinéma.
Okay. Cinemania. I like this. I like this. I like the credits.
Michel Simon, Jack Lemmon, Jack Nicholson, Julie Christie, Jacques Tati, Warren Beatty, Visconti, Jean-Luc Godard, Jean Renoir, Stéphane Audran, Trintignant, Alfred Hitchcock.
J'aime le cinéma. J'aime le cinéma.
Okay, so it's looking more interesting.
Well, what I do is I go to films every day, and I see, 1, 2, 3 films.
This
a
has
day,
to be autism.
Occasionally 4 or 5. If I don't go to 5 in a day, then I'll end up missing something that's playing. Everything else in my life generally has to be structured around that. I have torn my hair out for years over films that I've missed. Because I don't go to weddings. I don't go.
Yeah, this actually looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe I'll watch it later. Yeah. Dionysus says either autism or schizophrenia, which contributes to the high IQ of Ashkenazi. You're thinking of that syndrome. That there's a disease that correlates with the gene. There's a gene combination that gives you both high IQ and some condition that the name escapes me. Which is a psychological condition with a biological, with a biological genetic origin, like a well-defined actual illness, as opposed to, our idea of neuroses or something. Tay-Sachs, that's it. It's Tay-Sachs. Yeah. You're thinking of Tay-Sachs. Yeah, I don't know about schizophrenia. But, yeah. Tay-Sachs. I wish Tay-Sachs on all of you. Tay-Sachs. All right, let's see what else we have here. Do we have anything here? Okay. On the playlist. Let's check the playlist. View full playlist. We already watched. Here's something. Here's one of my own productions, which is really bad, but what the fuck? Let's just...
Pulling them boats from the dawn till sunset. Get
Who is this asshole?
rest till the judgment day. Don't look up and don't you look down, and don't dare make that boss man frown. Bend your knee, bow your head, and pull that rope until you're dead.
Supposed to be the Frank Sinatra
Let me
rendition.
go away from the Mississippi. Let me go away from my man boss. Show me that stream called the River Jordan. That's the old stream that I long to cross.
It's funny how I...
Old man
still going.
river.
Oh, shit.
That old man river. He don't say nothing, but he must know something. He just keeps rolling. He keeps on rolling along.
Jesus. Yeah, that was bad. I mean, this could have worked if I just prepared some material, maybe brought somebody else in to help out. But this was during the Jussie Smollett so-called hoax, when Jussie Smollett was accosted by a couple of redneck MAGA Trump racists. And I did this entirely in solidarity with Jussie. Dionysus, don't worry about it, man. Don't, you know, don't worry about the Jews being smart, right? Don't worry about the blacks being bigger and tougher. Don't worry about any of it, all right? Do not compare thyself, right? If you can shuck off the tendency to compare yourself, and I'm the worst, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine, all right? Fuck those other people. You're the king. We're kings. Real kings, all right? You say you know KMG is Catholic, but he has no idea how Catholic my family is. Yeah, well, I bet he doesn't go to Mass on Sunday. My family is so Catholic, it is spooky. Yeah, well, I was born Catholic too. But you know, I fled my first confession. I got so scared. You know, when you go through your confirmation and you have to do your first confession, it was terrifying. And I had nothing to confess, you know. I was a kid who hadn't done anything bad yet. Yeah, so I didn't know how to do it. And honestly, I think that if I had not fled that confession, if I'd stayed, played along, or confessed, I didn't have anything to confess. Really, I didn't have anything to confess. I hadn't even masturbated yet. I mean, I never did. That's what I mean. You know, it was just weird. And you go in, you sit in this closet, it's dark. This slat opens up, and all I saw was just faintly eyes behind that slat with like a little cage so you can't reach in there, poke the guy's eyes out. I don't know. I should have went through it. I was a coward. But I just, you know, I couldn't speak, and the priest says, "What's wrong, son?" He probably thought I had a lot to confess. He probably thought I'd killed somebody, and I just walked out. And then I thought, man, so I walked out and I went back out. You know, they don't keep track of who's confessing. God bless them, you know, or else they, you know, but I left, and then I go back out to where everybody is, you know. I got my confirmation, but it was false because I didn't go through with the confession. But I was expecting somebody to come get me. You didn't confess. Get in there, right? And it never happened. You know, so that's where it went wrong, and that's really what went wrong with me. Dionysus says, "I know you are Dutch and German. Dutch Protestants on the dad side, German Catholics on the mom side." Yeah, anyway, very much in that Germanic tradition. Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's get out of here. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to show. Nothing's going to. Oh my God. That out of there. That out of there. Alrighty. I was disappointed in the Will Stancil show, I got to admit. There's not a lot there. Just nothing really. All right, maybe we'll go. Maybe we'll go. Or maybe not.